Bon Journing to you, yes you, Sogmians and Punaabs, Jorvik and Ekos. And ladies and gentlemen, on the last video, which you can see just up here, we were talking about the Grenada, and we had a little rambling and a rant about Ekos, philosophers, and ontology. Today, we're doing a video on request from K1SO. Thank you. I like this kind of video, thanks. Cheers. Can you do a complete review of the Fimbul Mamba 2? It's my favorite ship right now. Yeah. I love the Mamba. Love it. Lots of details to look at on the Mamba. So I'll be very happy to look through this one. So thank you, K1SO. Let's do that. I've already set it up for you. So, I've already set it up. Let's go back to the character, actually. Or maybe we'll go first-person view. What I've set up here is the Fimbul Mamba, which is a medium bounty hunting ship. Next to it, I've loaded up the Vzus Ambwe, and that's a small class bounty hunter. And right at the end, over there, we've also got the Pearce X6, which isn't a bounty hunter. However, it's a fighter, but it does have a tiny little brig on it, so potentially could be used for bounty hunting as well. So, nice little lineup here. First, we'll go through the bounty hunter, the Mamba, because that's what the video's about. And then at the end, or midway through, we'll just kind of compare it to the other ships. So this is it, the Mamba, medium class. Here we go, you can see the scale of it here when I go to the third person view. We've got these two huge guns coming out of the forward end here. Absolutely massive for a ship this size. It's basically guns with an engine on it. Here's the access hatch, or front door, that would lower down. You've got a small little bridge, cockpit bridge up at the top there. And on each side, we've got these weapons as well. So, loads of weapons. And loads of details. Look at this, really cool. Yeah. Not sure what this is, so over the side here. But back from my seafaring days, that looks a lot like a deployable, inflatable life raft. Not sure what it could be on this ship. We'll just take it all in, all the glory that is the Fimbul Mamba. We got these here, not sure what these could be. Does anyone have any guesses? I mean, it could be a countermeasure or something like that. Not sure. Here at the aft end, we've got the thrusters. A load of what looks to be like cooling fins. Obviously, that would only work in atmosphere if they are cooling fins. In space, there's no air to cool. But that looks like quite a big engine as well, doesn't it? For the size of the ship. So big engine, big guns. What more do you want? Ah, we got these on the side, on both sides as well. So I don't know again what they could be. And then on each side, we've also got this thing here. Not sure. Really cool. So let's get up the Explorer. Explorer.staratlas.club. Link down below. So, Explorer, the Fimbul Mamba. This ship was released back in June, so it's a fairly new release. It hasn't been out as long as many other ships, and you'll see the prices reflected in that. So this is a medium bounty hunter ship, 18 meters wide, 9 meters high, 38 meters long. It's classed as uncommon because it's got a supply of 5,900 in total. And talking about the supply, the initial supply, which is 708 at 1,775 USDC, then another load were dropped on 2,832 of these ships at 1,775 USDC. And then we also have the rest of the ships being dropped at 2,040 USDC. Now, if we go to the Star Atlas Explorer, I'm on the Mamba here, and you can see there's no secondary sales. At the moment, all of the sellers are still Star Atlas on the original initial origination price, initial supply. So primary sales. We've got approximately 700 of these left at the origination price, and another 470 there at the 2040 price. So yeah, if we take a look at other ships, so if we take a quick look at that, the Ambwe, which is the first bounty hunter that came out, and it's a small class. Where are we? Ambwe. So you'll see here the origination price was 1,200, but right now, look, you can pick one up for 339.999999. So 340 USDC. So you've got to make the decision, what do you really want and what's worth paying for? And I'll leave that one to you, because I don't offer any financial advice on this channel. So let's go back to the Mamba. So that's the supply, that's the prices. Should we take a look at the components? Maybe get a different view whilst we're looking at it. I can go into the camera mode here, go up a little bit. Maybe we'll take a view of what it would look like from the cockpit. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what it could look like if you're flying it. Very cool. So back to the Explorer then. What do we have? We've got a medium power supply, a medium warp drive, a medium radar, medium tractor beam, medium shield generator. It's a medium class ship. However, we've got a large impulse engine, and yeah, that makes sense, because it looks like where are we? Yeah, it looks like a huge engine at the back, doesn't it? So medium class ship with a large impulse engine. That's always great when we're getting more for our money. A medium maneuvering thruster, 2 medium weapon hardpoints. That's going to be these here, isn't it? We've got one on each side. Whoop, there we go. That's these ones. And then we've got 2 large weapon hardpoints. So again, we're going up a class for these. So for a medium class ship, it looks like you'll be able to take on possibly a large class ship with that. Very cool. Very powerful. What else we've got? We've got medium missile bay, medium countermeasure, and medium hull reinforcement. For the crew, you've got a captain, a pilot, a co-pilot, and a turret gunner. And the modules, 1 medium-sized brig and 1 small ammunition slot. So the medium brig, that's the one that's going to earn you some money. You can go out in the game on bounty hunting missions, getting your dead or alive reward, and throwing them in the brig and taking them back to the reward payer. Let's get rid of that. Take one final look. Not sure what this is on the top here, if you see. Look, that's probably, you can see a couple of hinges on either side. I guess that's some kind of access hatch, but not 100% sure. And actually, look, you can just see inside here, because we can get quite close. You can just see inside, but nothing's actually built out yet. But this is kind of the bridge area. And you can fit a couple of people in there, or a few people in there. Oh yeah, we didn't look through the gallery, did we? Let's go through that next. And there we go, look there. That's going to be fun to fly, isn't it? With those huge guns poking out the front. Looks really cool. Okay, bring the Explorer up. Let's take a look at the... I'll enlarge this. Take a look at the gallery, because the images here are highly detailed. There we go. Start at the beginning. Oops. All right. A little bit difficult to move this around, actually. Not sure why. There we go. Okay. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Very nice. Here's some little module add-ons you can get. This looks like a drone here, and some different ammo that you can get. It looks like. What's interesting here are these images. Look, we've got these two large weapons. There's only one exit on these, whereas on the game, you see we've got the two, haven't we? We just go out here. Yeah, so it's actually a different barrel design. Not sure what's going on there. There you can see the drone in action. And this is apparently UE5 game ready, what it would look like in game. So that's great. That's fantastic, isn't it? Looks basically real. And I really like these Fimbul images, where they kind of make a retro vintage style. They put some people next to it working on it. That's really cool. And here is the action shot. Yeah, really nice. Really nice. You can just about see that access hatch on the top there. If that's what it is. I assume it is. Really, really nice looking ship. Ah, okay, here's a cross section. So what we can see here, we can see up in the kind of the cockpit bridge area, you've got a couple of people around. And then down below we've got this, not sure what this is. Not sure if it's for storage of something. Maybe you could fit like a Fimbul air bike in there, maybe. I'm not really sure. But you can see these web frames here, so you see a bit of the structure of the ship. They'd be giving strength across the width of the ship, because the transverse strength. And then normally you would see in between these web frames here, you would normally see stringer longitudinal steel going across the length of the ship to give the strength across the length, the longitudinal strength as well. So it's good to see. It's good to see the artists are paying close attention to these details, like the actual architecture of the ships as well. Great to see. Let's try and get that back to its original size. There we go. Just about. So that's the Fimbul Mamba. Shall we take a quick look at the other ships? Try not to make the video too long. But so here's the Vzus Ambwe. And this is a small class ship, and it doesn't actually look that much smaller, does it? Well, it doesn't look any smaller than the Mamba. But it's quite obvious the Mamba has the much larger weapons. These weapons look tiny in comparison. If we just bring up the Explorer again, what we can do here, if you go to the Explorer, explorer.staratlas.club, go to ships and then compare, what you can do is go to medium, compare the Mamba with the small ship with the Ambwe, and press compare, and the comparison comes up. So we're going to ignore the price on the Explorer because that's getting updated at the moment, so that's actually not correct. It will be correct soon, but let's ignore the price for now. So Fimbul Mamba, bounty hunter, total supply of 5,900, and that's the size there. The Vzus Ambwe, a small class bounty hunter, total supply 4,800. So it's actually a slightly more rare ship, the Ambwe. Components. It's very obvious here on the components that the Mamba is just a much better, much more powerful ship. But, it's in a different class. It's in the medium class, whereas the Ambwe is in the small class. So power supply, it's medium versus small. Warp drive, medium versus small. Impulse engine, large versus small. Maneuvering thruster, medium versus small. Shield generator, medium versus small. Hull reinforcement, medium versus small. Weapons also, you've got 2 medium, 2 large on the Mamba, and then you've got 2 small, 2 extra small on the Ambwe. Missile bay, medium versus small. Countermeasure, medium versus small. Radar and tractor beam also medium versus small. Modules on the Vzus Ambwe, you've just got one small brig versus a medium brig and a small ammunition slot on the Mamba. And the crew, you've got much more crew on the Mamba because you've only got a pilot for the Ambwe. So the pilot is the Ambwe is the lone wolf, whereas the Mamba is for a little small team. If we go to the Star Atlas marketplace, again, Ambwe $340 versus the Mamba, which was $1,775. Yeah. Interesting feature here. If we bring up this image, which was created by Samskara, club member, club team leader. These are faction-aligned manufacturers. So, when you start the game, you choose which faction that you want to be, and in each faction there's a ship manufacturer that's aligned specifically to that faction. So, you can see here, in the safe zone, in the main faction areas, you've got Mud, Oni, Uster, and the Pearce ships are Mud-aligned, Busan ships are Oni-aligned, Uster, Vzus ships are Uster-aligned. And the Ambwe is a Vzus ship. So this is an Uster ship, basically. It doesn't mean that the others can't access it, but it does mean that if you are Uster and you have Uster crew, you're going to get a little buff. It's going to be easier for them to fly this thing because they know the technology. Whereas if you're a human, it's going to be more difficult for you to understand the technology on the Vzus ships. It's going to take you more time to learn the skills. So you still can learn the skills, it's just going to take more time, and also with leveling up or finding blueprints to build Vzus ships, it's going to be easier, I imagine, in Uster, because you're going to gain faction loyalty with Uster and you're not with Mud, So something else to consider there. Now with Fimbul, if you see here, they're not specifically aligned to any faction. You gain your loyalty points through Fimbul directly, I think. So Fimbul are available in all factions, and so that's what makes them the kind of like the cheaper, more basic ships, and they're going to be the ships that are going to be available to you much more easily if you're in your career, and especially if you're a shipbuilder. I would imagine the blueprints to the Fimbul ships are going to come to you much more easily than the other ones that are more specific to the factions. When you go out into the medium zone, safe and medium zone actually, you've also got dual faction-aligned ship manufacturers. So you've got Ogrika, and that's the Punaabs, which is Oni and Uster. You've got Opal, which is Uster and Mud. And you've got Calico, which is Mud and Oni. Then, out in the medium risk zone, you've got these different factions. And we've got Jorvik and Ecos. So Ecos, from the previous video, they were the Earth-conscious ontological society. And then Jorvik, these are considered more like the pirates. Yar, it is true, the pirates. And then you can gain loyalty with either of those or both of those to gain access to their ships. And Jorvik are kind of, I think they're the BIOS ships. So you might find the Fimbul BIOS. So Fimbul build your own ship. So even more basic than the standard Fimbul. Kind of like bits of scrap put together. But they get the job done at a great price. And then you've got Ecos, like we said with the Grenada. They like their bombers as well. Now when we go out into the high risk zone, you've got Tufa and you've got Rainbow. And if you look at my video on the story of Star Atlas, check it out just up here. We learn a little bit about the Tufa. They're kind of like I think they call them metagenic, metamorphic kind of stone creatures. Very interesting, very intriguing. I like it. And then you've got Rainbow, which is Photoli tech. And we know, Star Atlas have said that the Photoli tech is going to be the most complicated, the most advanced, and therefore the most expensive and the most difficult to build. So Rainbow ships, I would say, if you can get them at a good price, they may be worth it. But that is not financial advice. My goodness, no way is that financial advice. Do your own research and do not listen to me. So that's the faction-aligned manufacturers. So something else to consider. Let's get rid of this, and thanks Samskara for that poster. Now let's take a quick look at the Pearce X6. So I'll do another video of this because you can see the Pearce X6 is in a slightly better, more advanced stage. So I'll do a different, separate video on this one. But this is a cool little ship here. Let's look at all three lined up there. And let's bring up the Explorer. Okay. And we'll add the X6 onto this comparison now. So the X6 now, that has a supply of 8,000. So it's the most common out of all three. Again, it's a small ship. Let's ignore the prices here for now. It's got small of everything. Weapons is 4 small, 4 extra small. Whereas the Ambwe, look at that. The weapons on the Pearce X6 are 4 small, 4 extra small. The Ambwe is 2 small, 2 extra small. And the modules, the Pearce X6 has an extra small mess hall, small ammunition slot, and an extra small brig. So tiny brig. If you're a bounty hunter, it may be a little bit difficult for you to make a living with an extra small brig. However, if you want to have the kind of the versatility, being able to be to kind of be a fighter and a bounty hunter, maybe the X6 is for you. But if you just want to be bounty hunting, well, it's most likely, looking at these brigs, the Mamba obviously is going to be the best one out of the three, but it's pricey as well. Then it would be the Ambwe, and then, it's kind of like a token gesture of a brig is the on the X6. But you've got 2 crew on the X6 as well. You've got a pilot and a co-pilot, so it could be good for you and a friend. Whereas the Ambwe, it's just 1, and the Mamba, it's got 4 there. If we take a look at the price right now of the X6, Oh, interesting. Let's get, yep, X6. So, origination price was 930 USDC, excuse me, and for some reason that's not loading up. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. Right now, 240 USDC. So I'll leave that with you to decide. But that's basically the current bounty hunting ships, or at least a ship that you can do bounty hunting with. But if we look at the GAO brochure, just a final closing thought here. The GAO brochure. My goodness. There we go. So there's still some ships to be released, isn't there? If we take a quick scan here, no bounty hunter, no bounty hunter. But in the medium and large category, we've still got, well, Fimbul Mamba we have already, medium bounty hunter. Then we've got a Calico Skip Trace still to be released, which is a medium bounty hunter. And the Vzus Unu, which is a large bounty hunter. So we've not seen a large bounty hunter yet. That's still to come. So possibly there's no rush if you're looking to buy a bounty hunter and you're looking in the medium and large range. Maybe there's no rush right now because we know the Mamba is still being sold. There's still a supply left at the origination price. So you know, we're not sure when these are actually going to come out. They're likely going to come out with the Scream game release. Let's see if there's any capital ones as well. No capital ones. So yeah, there's still some coming out, but it could be a long time. So it's up to you on that one. If you want to buy one now, then those are the three that offer bounty hunting. So there you have it. Get rid of that. Let me know which ships you would like to see next. We've already got a request for the Maiden Heart and the Ballad, so that will come up next. I hope you enjoy the video. Ciao for now.